Hey everyone, welcome back! And finally we got Chang'e in Honor of Kings. I mean Yingzheng, but not exactly him. I don't know why, but the devs of the global version of Honor of Kings have this weird fetish of redesigning already well-made heroes before releasing them globally. We already have a game that's been doing that for years. They're basically the veterans of that craft. But anyway, for all the Yingzheng fans who have been waiting, he is here now, just with a different name and look. He is now called Garuda, a half-human, half-bird-like creature with insane royal drip. Also, just for your kind information, Chang'e was released in 2018 in Mobile Legends, but Yingzheng was released way back in 2015 on the Chinese server of Honor of Kings. Take that information however you want. As they say, old habits die hard. Mobile Legends being Mobile Legends. Anyways, this is another episode of my main series.
欢迎来到王者荣耀，全军出击。
And as you already know, I'm breaking down Garuda in this video. I'll cover all the basic, minute, and even hidden mechanics you need to know to get every bit of advantage with him in real matches. Like, did you know the movement of Garuda's hands actually matters? Which hand he uses and when is one of the crucial things to understand, and I'll explain that later in detail. I'll walk you through all his skills, passive, combos, and also give you the best builds and optimal settings so you can easily become the best Garuda player. So without any further ado, let's roll the intro. Garuda as a mage has a very long skill range, which is why I think he'll be one of the best mages to use this season. That's why you need to learn his core mechanic. So let's start with his passive. According to Garuda's passive, every time you perform a basic attack, he throws a steel needle that has a penetration effect, meaning it pierces through enemies in a straight line and deals extra damage. It doesn't matter how many enemies or minions are in its path. If they're in line and in range, they all get hit. Also, Garuda's basic attack range is almost twice as long as a normal attack range. Like when you tap the basic attack button, this blue circle that appears shows the normal attack range, but the actual range reaches beyond that circle, as you can see on the screen. It goes out of that blue circle. You need to know this because it helps you poke from a very safe distance, and it lets you control the lane easily in the early game. And that's everything about his passive ability. Now let's move on to his skill 1. Not gonna lie, most of his skills are very simple and straightforward, just like his passive. There aren't many gimmicks behind them. He's actually a very easy hero to play. Now let's first talk about Garuda's skill 1 before I share the tricks related to it. When you use Garuda's skill 1, a crystal-like object appears and rotates in a circular motion, dealing damage every 0.5 seconds for a total of 2.5 seconds. Functionally, it is similar to Yingzheng's skill 1, just visually different. It also slows enemies by 15%. And this slow applies to both minions and heroes. You can combine this with his long-range piercing auto attacks for powerful poke pressure. Skill 1 also helps you control the direction of his auto attacks, which is extremely useful for pushing towers. Since Garuda's normal attack range is extremely long, you can stand far outside of tower range and still hit it safely. For example, from specific positions in mid, side, or jungle entrances, you can poke the first mid tower, side towers, and even second or third tier towers from unexpected angles. There is an even more important detail. Normally, when you attack a tower early game, the shield mechanism reduces damage. But if you attack from outside the tower's range, the shield does not activate. This means you deal higher damage to the tower even in early game. If your auto-aim is inaccurate, simply cast skill 1 first to turn Garuda toward the tower, then auto-attack for reliable hits. This may look small early, but slowly chipping a tower like this wins lanes. Competitive players must remember this. Casual players can skip the risk if they don't want to. And that was the first trick related to his skill 1. Next trick is scouting trick, meaning it revolves around scouting for vision using his long range. Since Garuda's auto attacks travel further than even Garo's, and they have a clear hit effect, you can poke bushes from far away to check if enemies are hiding. For example, when your auto attack actually hits enemies hiding inside a bush, the hit animation looks like this, which means there are enemies inside that bush. But if it doesn't hit anything, the visual effect looks like this, which means the bush is empty. Also, if you're a beginner and often miss the angle, you can again use skill 1 to face the correct direction first, then attack, which makes bush scouting much easier. Now an important warning. Many players try to use Garuda's skill 1 sound effect to check bushes. His skill 1 makes one sound when it misses, and a different sound when it hits an enemy. But this only works when you already have vision of that enemy. If the enemy is out of your vision or inside a bush, even if you hit them with skill 1, there will be no hit sound. So using sound to scout is not reliable. You are just wasting a skill, and that's everything about Garuda's skill 1. Now let's move on to his skill 2. Garuda's second skill is extremely strong, especially when you use it against physical damage dealers. When you cast his skill 2 and it hits an enemy at close range, it immediately resets their bonus physical attack gained from items for 2 seconds. In simple terms, you temporarily make them itemless for that duration. So even if they hit you during that window, the damage won't be as painful. But remember, Garuda is still a squishy mage, so you should never stand in the front line. Always stay safe and poke enemies from long range with his auto attacks. Also, the skill gives Garuda a permanent shield and movement speed boost until the shield is broken. Here's a simple but very important trick related to his skill 2. Garuda's skill 2 provides a shield layer with no timer. It stays active forever as long as it isn't broken. That means you can pre-store a shield in advance. Then once the first shield breaks, you can immediately cast skill 2 again to apply a second shield layer. This way, Garuda can stack 2 shields back to back, and because this skill resets physical attack bonuses from items, Garuda becomes extremely effective and super annoying against physical assassins. Now that you understand the main mechanic of skill 2, let's move on to his hand movement detail, which I teased in the intro, because which hand Garuda uses actually changes the effect. So if you don't know, Garuda is a bit special. His auto attack has piercing damage, and it is divided between his left hand and right hand, meaning it's split into 2 different actions. His left hand attack will pierce targets on the left side, and his right hand attack will pierce targets on the right side. Because of this, sometimes you auto attack a low HP enemy, and you clearly hit, yet they don't die. It surprises you, and you wonder what happened, and how they escaped. Actually, it's not your fault. But don't worry, I'll teach you a simple trick to avoid these situations. First, use your second skill. Then when you do an auto attack afterward, he will raise his left hand. Next, use the first skill, and then auto attack again. Now he will raise his right hand. So with this technique, by using second skill first, you can force the next basic attack to be the left hand needle. And by using first skill next, you can force the following basic attack to be the right hand needle. This lets us control whether Garuda uses his left or right hand based on the enemy's position. Now, how to create an illusion with his skill 2. Garuda's second skill gives him a shield, but if you look closely, you'll notice that when you cast his skill 2, he also raises his left hand. Usually after using skill 2, you follow up with an auto attack, where he raises his right hand and releases the needle. But once you learn how to hide or create an illusion with that needle, the sequence changes. You can press skill 2 and auto attack at the same time, so the needle is released together with the left hand skill 2 animation. Then when Garuda raises his right hand, nothing will come out, since the needle already fired earlier. To make it even clearer, you still perform 2 actions, skill 2 first and auto attack second. That part does not change. The only difference is that the damage, needle release, happens earlier together with skill 2. The following auto attack becomes a feint, an empty animation with no needle and no damage. This is very useful because it lets you deal damage faster. And if the enemy has crowd control, you can instantly use skill 2 plus auto attack and then retreat before they can react. And that's all about his hand raising techniques. Now let's move on to his ultimate. Garuda's ultimate fires in a specified direction, launching a bombardment of about 90 flying needles-like thing. You can also cast his first and second skills while using the ultimate. The ultimate can also be used to push towers, which I will discuss later in the tower pushing strategy section. It also makes it hard for enemies to step forward and clear minion waves. Enemies you hit with his ultimate will instinctively move side to side to dodge it, so you can use your joystick to sway the aim left and right to predict their movement. Once you understand common dodge patterns, it becomes easier to land more hits. Try to hit enemies with the left side of your ultimate, and I'll explain why. As you know, Garuda's ultimate launches flying needles. When you look at the indicator, it is drawn on the ground, but the actual visual effect of the skill happens in the air. You will notice the left side projectiles of his ultimate are denser than the right side ones. After testing, if you aim the left side at the enemy, it hits around 55 needles. If you aim the right side, it hits only around 35 needles. So if you want maximum damage, you must aim using the left side of the ultimate. Also, all the flying needles originate from behind Garuda. That means his ultimate can hit enemies standing directly behind him, as long as they are within about 1 hero width of distance. You must remember this. And with that, we're done discussing his skills. Now let's move on to some tower pushing strategy with Garuda. When it comes to pushing towers with Garuda, there are 3 commonly used methods. The first method is used when a minion wave is already present. You can cast Garuda's ultimate in advance to apply pressure since nobody wants to stand inside his ultimate, which prevents the enemy from stepping forward to clear the wave, giving you and your teammates a free window to damage the tower and speed up the push. The second method is when you are ganking, especially on the bot lane. You can cast your ultimate directly from the river by taking advantage of Garuda's long range without having to walk into the lane first, allowing you to safely harass the side laner from afar. The third method is also used when ganking, but this time you flank from behind instead of approaching from the front or the side. This splits the enemy's focus because they won't know whether to respond to the opponent in front or to you behind them, and moving either forward or backward won't help them escape, which makes the situation extremely uncomfortable and frustrating for them. As we know, Garuda's auto attack can pierce through targets, but when the attack range isn't enough, you can use the auto attack plus flash combo to extend that range. This combo only changes the starting position of the auto attack, but that alone allows you to flash backward to pierce multiple targets, or change your starting angle to pierce enemies horizontally. By adjusting your direction, you can hit enemies in almost any position, making this the best method for either redirecting your auto attack or extending its reach. However, I personally don't recommend using this unless it guarantees a valuable kill or a meaningful advantage, because you will most likely end up wasting your flash. A spell that might later save your life in a risky situation, especially in the late game, and potentially decide the outcome of the game. Now let's move on to Garuda's optimal settings. As for settings, there aren't any major changes you need to make to play Garuda efficiently. His setup is fairly generic, and I'll show you my personal settings in a moment, which you can simply copy. Whether you're a beginner or a veteran player, using these settings will have you ready to play effectively right away.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep.
Finally, let's talk about the best builds for Garuda and the variations you can use on him. I'm going to give you 3 types of builds. The first is a slow focused build, designed to increase the hit rate of his ultimate. It slows down enemies, making it much easier to land your ultimate and harder for them to dodge or escape. If the enemy team has a lot of healing, then use the second build, which is an anti-heal variation. In this case, it is mandatory to build Venomous Staff early to counter their healing. The third build is an attack speed focused build. It's more of a fun build than a serious one. I don't recommend using this in ranked games as it may cost you reputation points. Save it for casual or normal matches if you want to experiment or to have fun, and that's everything you need to know about Garuda's builds. To be honest, Garuda doesn't really have any fixed combo chains that you can reliably execute in real matches. Most of his gameplay relies on instinct and timing. However, there is one combo you can use specifically for pushing towers, and that is 3-2-1. You perform it when a minion wave reaches the turret. First, use your ultimate to clear the wave and force enemies back. Then, use your second skill repeatedly to gain movement speed so you can maintain good positioning while your ultimate is still firing. Finally, use your first skill to slow enemies as they attempt to step out and clear the wave. This makes it extremely difficult for the enemy to get close and defend, and during this window you should ping your teammates to collapse and finish the turret before your ultimate ends or the enemy can react. And that's pretty much the only meaningful combo I could come up with for this video. And that's it for this video, lads. If you ask me, I genuinely miss Ying Zheng, and I really hoped they wouldn't redesign him when I first heard the news months back. But they still did. Just like most of you, I'm kinda mad about that decision, but what can we really do? Except keep raising our voices and complaining until they maybe listen. I don't hate Garuda or his design. Except for his portrait, the color grading there feels off. That's it. I actually think Garuda as a completely separate hero with different and unique skills, just like Luara, would have been a great addition to the game. I don't mind monsters or weird creatures at all. They're refreshing. But in the end, it is what it is. I hope you've now learned how to play Garuda efficiently, whether you main him or plan to. If this video helped you, then now help me by hyping and liking this video. I'd really appreciate hearing your thoughts and feedback in the comments. We are very close to reaching 4,000 subscribers, so please share this video with your friends and peers to help me hit that milestone as soon as possible. And if you have any requests, drop them in the comments. I love fulfilling my W subscribers requests, and I'll see you in the next one. Love y'all!